Co-Creation Workshop: Health and Wellbeing Through Creativity. This workshop welcomed participants from Kingston Health and Care Service providers, potential users of these services, providers of activities linked to art in the borough, as well as a group from the Kingston University Sustainable Design Master's course. These work together on the development of new concepts and possibilities for services aimed at enhancing well-being for the elderly and those living with dementia, and facilitating community involvement from the bottom up. In order to define these new concepts and possibilities, the workshop was developed on the principle of being person-centered, of considering people in terms of their assets before their needs and problems, which may have to be solved by others, and of fostering collaboration, not only among Kingston service providers, but also with the potential users of these services. Team 1 gathered a group of 4 people who worked together in order to find possible solutions to the following question: how to encourage our communities to be aware and responsive to people living with dementia. Dementia often starts with short-term memory loss, but also it affects how people think, react, and speak. The simplest everyday activity, even walking, can be a challenge. However, a person diagnosed with dementia may still have a happy, independent, and dignified life. Each participant was provided with a persona to help them be more confident and detailed in tackling the topic. Susan, aged 76 and diagnosed with slight dementia, still visits her local library and takes an introduction to computers. She is capable of going shopping to the local market, but if she returns through the park to feed the ducks, she can get confused once she leaves her usual route. Choosing one of the 5 ways to well-being developed by the New Economics Foundation was the first step towards launching the discussion and analyzing Susan's position. The process was guided in the first place by clarifying the challenges she is likely to face. Secondly, by understanding her world in terms of people with whom she interacts and where she interacts with them. And finally, by analyzing the local assets that might help her to connect with her community and people in general. Susan suffers from a lack of connection with her community, living a very routine and restricted life with few activities or places to visit. This allows her to feel safer and more confident, but it inhibits her from enjoying a life open to inspiration from new experiences. Although Susan has regular contact with her family and has developed some daily activities, her connection with new people or places is very restricted. Her life extends only as far as those places in where she feels secure. After analysis of the community assets, which might support Susan, it is clear that Kingston does offer various opportunities to improve Susan's quality of life. These include the Dementia Friends Initiative, Memory Cafe, which is ideal for dementia sufferers, and even some library services. In their response to this initial question, the team decided to use one of the community assets, namely Dementia Friends, as the main guide to tackling the question. Dementia Friends acts through a dementia advisor whose task is to direct sufferers to one of the available options. However, this serves only as a signpost making it difficult to discover which services are really suitable and relevant to Susan. The team decided to recommend innovations which might profitably be added to this initiative. They aim to extend the role of the dementia advisor to include a companion matchmaking service that can help Susan find the most suitable and relevant services based on her assets and interests through linking her with a companion. This service can help Susan to meet a companion who might give Susan confidence to involve herself in new activities while keeping up what she already does. Therefore, Susan feels she is still the same person now as when she was younger. Once the brief was defined, the team started to prototype their idea in order to describe the problem that they were trying to solve or the change they wanted to make, define how the idea would work, including the assets and resources needed to develop it, and how Susan would interact with the service, and to explain the impact of this idea in Susan's life and eventually throughout the community. The Dementia Advisor Service aims to provide the sufferers with information, advice, and support in accessing the local services. Although this role is individually focused, the tendency is to point people in the direction which seems obvious for that sort of case. The team's suggestion is that Susan's GP should automatically refer her on to the dementia advisor, from where she will be linked with a companion matchmaking service. Experienced helpers will then try to find a volunteer companion who is not only competent and understands both her problems and her assets, but also shares similar interests. It is important that this volunteer should be acceptable to Susan herself. In addition to any help with practical problems, this companion will naturally support Susan in continuing her present activities and potentially extending them. The extra confidence that she can gain from this support may also encourage her to visit new places and enjoy new experiences. The result should be a better, objective match, plus more personal satisfaction. Susan can be connected with her community in a way that she finds relevant, and this should contribute to an improved overall quality of life.